Hi everyone, my name is Hesed Borla, together with my partner Florence Tampus. And if you are in the right place to learn, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. In this video, we are going to share to you about the novel 1984 by George Orwell. So if you are interested to read the entire novel, just comment down below and I will send you the copy of it. Alright, so are you excited? Let's start. Who is George Orwell? George Orwell, whose real name is Eric Arthur Blair, was an English novelist, essayist, journalist, and critic. His work is marked by lucid prose awareness of social injustice, opposition to totalitarianism, and commitment to democratic socialism. In the early life of George Orwell, he was born on the 25th of June 1903 in Motihari, Bihar, in British India, where he spent his first days. His mother brought him and his older sister Marjorie to England about a year after his birth and settled in Henley-on-Thames because his father stayed behind in India and rarely visited. George Orwell and his father never formed a strong bond. Orwell was later sent to a boarding school, which he hated and where he got his first taste of England's class system. On a partial scholarship, Orwell noticed that the school treated the richer students better than the poorer ones. He won scholarships to Wellington College and Eton College to continue his studies because his family couldn't pay for his university education. And Orwell joined the Indian Imperial Police in Burma, then a British colony. He resigned in 1927 and decided to become a writer. In the career of George Orwell, he is well known for his literary criticism, poetry, fiction, and polemical journalism. He has gained worldwide acknowledgement for his dystopian novel 1984 and the allegorical novella Animal Farm 1945. His book Homage to Catalonia 1938, an account of his experience in the Spanish Civil War, is widely acclaimed, as are his numerous essays in politics, literature, language, and culture. In 2008, the Times ranked him second on a list of the 50 greatest British writers since 1945. What is Newspeak in the novel, and how does it perpetuate the power and influence of Big Brother and those who resist his government? Newspeak is the fictional language of Oceania, a totalitarian superstate that is the setting of dystopian novel 1984 by George Orwell. In the novel, the ruling English Socialist Party or INSOC created Newspeak to meet the ideological requirements of English socialism in Oceania. The Newspeak is a controlled language of simplified grammar and restricted vocabulary designed to limit the individual's ability to think and articulate concepts such as personal identity, self-expression, and free will. Such concepts are criminalized as thought crimes since they contradict the prevailing INSOC orthodoxy. The idea behind Newspeak is that as language must become less expressive, the mind is more easily controlled. Through his creation explanation of Newspeak, Orwell warns the reader that the governments that creates language and mandates how it is used can control the minds of its citizens. So for the summary, George Orwell wrote 1984 in 1949. The dystopian novel is set in 1984, Orwell's near future, and our recent past. But the novel is still relevant today due to its depiction of the totalitarian government and its themes of using media manipulation and advanced technology to control people. Winston Smith lives in London, but not the London we know. Instead of being a part of England, 1981 London is part of Oceania, one of the three huge governments that exist in the book's world. Oceania is controlled by a powerful and mysterious elite. The government, referred to as Big Brother, uses cameras and listening devices to constantly observe all of its citizens. There is also a secret police force dedicated to reporting both rebellious thoughts and general misbehavior to the appropriate authorities. And for the most part, Winston is a typical cog in the machine. He works at the Ministry of Truth, but he has a very low ranking position. His job is tedious and involves altering records to promote the government's version of history. And Winston has a few problems with the government. To begin with, he does not buy into all of the propaganda he is fed. Some of the things he reads or hears contradict with his memories. For example, the government claims that they are at war against Eurasia, but Winston remembers being at war with Eastasia. And Winston also has a vision. He does not want to live under such a oppressive government. He commits tiny acts of rebellion, he starts to keep a diary, and he begins to look for allies. This is a dangerous task since Big Brother is always watching. Despite his desire to rebel, Winston thinks he will be discovered soon by the thought police, the secret police force that searches for and punishes members of society that dare to even question how the government is run. The thought police is also run a fake underground resistance in an attempt to discover rebellious party members. And then Winston meets Julia at work. Okay, despite the danger of exposing himself to a potentially fake rebel, Winston reveals his true thoughts to Julia. Julia turns out to be a rebel too. The two start an affair which is illegal in their country, especially because Julia is a member of the Junior Anti-Sex League. Winston and Julia share a mutual dream of a world free from war and oppression. O'Brien, another rebel, befriends Winston and Julia. He invites them over to his place. Unfortunately, O'Brien turns out to be one of the top police working undercover. He has spent the last 7 years watching Winston for rebellious tendencies. O'Brien busts them with the help of Mr. Charrington, a man from whom Winston and Julia rented a secret room to conduct their affair. Winston and Julia are separated, and Winston is tortured. Winston resists all the torture until he is sent to room 101, where O'Brien straps a cage of rats into his head, and Winston, terrified of rats, begs O'Brien to torture Julia instead. O'Brien stops torturing Winston. In fact, he even releases him back into society by making Winston betray Julia. O'Brien succeeded in destroying his spirit. Grateful at being released, Winston is completely recommitted to Big Brother and no longer has any feelings for Julia.
Newspeak is a fictional language used in 1984 by Big Brother and the party. It is an altered English with restricted vocabulary used as a tool to limit freedom and thought. Newspeak often contradicts itself. Some words have two mutually contradicting meanings, so the meaning depends on context. This is a way that the party controls its citizens in 1984. The party changes the meanings of words, and the citizen has to have total willingness to say black is white if the party demands. Some of the vocabularies of the newspeak that we can read in the novel 1984 are as follows. For example, the words INSOC stands for English Socialism, which is the fictional ruling party of the totalitarian state of Oceania. RecDep stands for Records Department. FICDep stands for Fiction Department. Teledep stands for the Teleprograms Department. Black-white means believing that black is white, knowing that black is white, and forgetting anything of the contrary. Artsem means artificial insemination. Day order means order of the day. Crime think means criminal thought and is monitored by thought police and punished by death. Duck speak means to speak without thinking. Doublethink means the ability to have two completely contradictory beliefs in one's mind and believe both of them to be true. Good sex means sex considered acceptable by the party, exclusively used for procreation and without pleasure for the woman. Face crime means being guilty of thought crime by facial expression. Issue means children created by good sex. Good think means thought deemed acceptable by the party. Old speak means any language that is not newspeak. Malquoted means incorrect representation of the party by the press. Own life means citizen being individualistic and solitary. This is also regarded as suspicious. Old think means ideas, thoughts, and memories from before the party. Speak right means an instrument used that writes or types as one speaks. Sex crime means having sex for pleasure or any other sexual act not deemed acceptable by the party. Vaporize means being killed and completely eliminated from existence by the party. Unperson means a citizen vaporized or killed by the party and left with no record of existence. Thought crime means thoughts not deemed acceptable by the party and monitored by the thought police. Telescreen means a television or camera used by the party to distribute propaganda and watch citizens. Thinkpool means thought police. Bellefield means a blind enthusiastic acceptance of an idea. Medipax is the newspeak term for the Ministry of Peace, which serves as the War Ministry of Oceania's government. Many-True is the newspeak term for the Ministry of Truth, which concerned itself with news, entertainment, education, and the fine arts. Mini-Love is the newspeak term for the Ministry of Love. It serves as Oceania's interior ministry, and it enforces loyalty to Big Brother through fear. The novel 1984 by George Orwell is a must-read for those students majoring in linguistics because it has its own unique stylistic features which is very interesting to start with if you want to have a thorough study of stylistics. Furthermore, the novel has a considerable emphasis on how the use of language influences the human thought on the individual and collective sphere. Thus, it is especially relatable to those people like me who are curious about the power of language and its capability of changing the outlook of a society.